Hi, I'm Gary. I want to talk tonight about why you would want to live in a van or camper. I would recommend only living in a van because it's easier to be stealthy. A camper is kind of obvious what you're doing. It's kind of obvious where you are, and so you don't want to look homeless. You want to look like you have it going on. Of course, you need a job. Now, the point in saving money, why would you want to save money? And maybe for a down payment for a house, or for more. If you could save more than that, that's great. You want to save a lot of money for a down payment. You maybe work for a year and living in a van, or even up to 2 years. You could probably make the money you want in 2 years. You want to maximize the money you make. You know, most likely you're not going to have a very high-paying job, so you want to maximize the money that you make. I'm gonna guess you could figure around $10,000, $20,000. In 2 years, 2.5 years, you should be able to save $20,000 if you want, if you really want. That's really not a long time to sacrifice. The time goes by pretty fast. You set up a schedule of what you're going to do every day, and that could be anything, you know. And you go to places that are free, like the library, the park. There's nothing wrong with this stuff. There's people that even hang out at Denny's. They'll buy a drink and nurse it for hours, a couple hours, and leave a big tip. I've done that before. So you wanna save money the best you can, and those are a good way to get started. You know, nothing's free in this world, so you've got to keep down your costs. Eating in a restaurant is expensive. Now, if you buy a meal that's not too bad, and then you have enough food left over for another meal later, that makes that meal half the price of what you paid for it, basically. You get a little styrofoam container and take it with you. Most things will last 3-4 hours in room temperature with no ill effects. You can do some research and figure out what you don't want laying around for several hours. So, and then there's going to be stuff you can't keep in your van, because you don't want everything you own in your van all the time. So you're going to need a storage locker at a mini storage company. And probably the best size is a 10 by 10, 10 foot by 10 foot. You can get smaller, but then you're really limited on size. With a 10 by 10, you can have an aisle down the middle and kind of have stuff. It's like you're setting it up like a big closet in your house. If you had a house, you'd set it up like a big closet. It's possible, if you had a good friend, you might be able to put a shed, a medium-sized shed in their backyard of the same size, and pay them $100 a month. You make pretty good friends with them, and you're not using any space in their house either. You could do that. And then you want to live as close to the vicinity of where you're working. I would recommend working 2 jobs if you could. That would be really good. You got to remember, when you're working, you're not spending money typically. So you could do a lot with that. And then a bicycle's great. Even though I have a house now, I still have a bicycle. And I recommend that big time. I was able to buy mine new, but you might want to get a used one and fix it up to your own taste. And that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody talk you out of getting a bicycle and riding around. I don't care what ritzy neighborhood you live in. Some jobs will let you crash after work. You could go sleep in your van a few hours. Then you need a place to clean up. Well, where are you going to go clean up at every day? Geez. How about the gym? Get a gym membership. $20 a month. That's not even $1 a day. It costs more for some people to run their water heater than that. So at their house. So you could go to the gym, work out, get a nice hot shower, change your clothes. Some of those have lockers. You could leave clothes there, which would be great. And in most big cities, they have laundry facilities. So you could go throw your stuff in the laundry, then if it wasn't too far away, go to the gym for, well, it might not work, but you could, you know what I'm saying. And then when you're, let's see, for food, let's get food and cooking. Food and cooking is a big issue. You could spend a fortune in restaurants, you know that. So you want to come up with stuff that's minimal and doesn't take up a lot of space either. Food that's not going to go bad. Food that you can eat when you need to. Like canned food. There's a lot of canned food you can eat it right out of the can or with a little bit of heating up. Like where I work, we have microwaves. We have microwaves everywhere where I work at. So that's a good option. If you have a part-time job at a restaurant, you can get free food there too. They'll give you, not that you want to eat that every day. You want the bicycle that you have. You want something you can maintain yourself. You want to know how to fix it yourself. And in your vehicle, in your van, you always want to store a little bit of water. That's always a good idea as well. I don't recommend the whole homeless thing outside in front of Walmart cooking food with a table and chair set up outside like that. That's just asking for trouble. One thing I forgot to list on here was strangers. You don't make friends with strangers out there. Have your core friends, the people who know what you're doing. Maybe they invite you over once in a while for a dinner. That's great. And keep a friendly atmosphere with them. Always offer money when you go to somebody's house for free. Always offer money or something. If they turn you down, that's great. That's fine. This day and age, you can use a cell phone with internet to keep up your daily activities and stuff. You know, you want to look something up on the internet, watch videos, or upload your own videos probably. You can use an iPad for that if you want to. You could make your video right on it. You don't need a laptop. You don't need all this expensive stuff. I would buy a used iPad if I was you. And I technically would get a real simple cell phone and have an iPad that you could use the Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is everywhere now. When I was doing it years ago, living in my van and stuff, they didn't have Wi-Fi and all this fancy stuff. Cell phones cost a lot of money back then. Now it's almost a given anymore in that sense. So you want to live close to work, and you want to find a gym or a church. I think I mentioned the gym already. I didn't mention the church where you can clean up. I used to go to the church. They had a locker room, they had a workout center with a locker room. So I'd go in there and take a shower. Nobody knew I was living in my car. I was actually living in my car then. It was so hot, I had to sleep out on the ground. I had a little portable mattress. I just laid out on the ground. There was actually a night I was getting eaten by ants. I got bit up by ants really bad. So stuff happens. But I was saving money. So, no, that's a great way to do it. You don't ever want to look homeless though, because you're really not. You're living by choice to save money to buy a house. So and why do you want to buy a house? What's the biggest point in owning a house? The point in owning a house is that when it's paid off, you're not making a payment anymore. Do you want to pay rent your whole life? What a total waste of money that is. And you don't need great credit when you have money in the bank for a down payment. You got $20,000 in the bank, you'll find somebody to get you a loan for a house. You want to find something modest. What I live in here is very modest, and I'm very fortunate. I have a little place in the back, a little one bedroom like a guest house that I rent out, and that helps a lot too. So when I have this place paid off and bought and paid off, then the little house in the back will pay all my utilities plus a little more. So I'll basically not even have to really even work so much.